Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jonny Bowden continuing with our Basics of Weight Loss course, and this is episode number 5 when we talk about fat. Last time we talked about carbohydrates, next time we're going to talk about protein, but today we're going to talk about fat, which is of such great concern to people who are trying to lose weight. And I want to make clear that since this is a weight loss basics course, I'm only going to talk about fat in relationship to weight gain and weight loss. There's a lot to say about fat and health. I'll mention it at the end, but I know you guys are interested right now in its impact on your ability to lose weight. So let's talk about it from that point of view. Now, I've mentioned before in the course that 21st century medicine and nutrition, weight loss is no longer about just calories. That the star of the show, the thing that really directs weight gain and directs fat burning, is hormones. Not calories. Doesn't mean calories don't count at all. It means that they're not the star of the show, and calorie counting is a very, very inefficient way to try to lose weight. So let's talk about hormones, and let's talk about what raises your fat storage hormones. Remember, you've got a hormone. It's called insulin. Its main job is to get sugar out of the bloodstream and into the cells. And when it can't get them into the muscle cells, which is very, very frequently the case, it takes it to the fat cells and you get fatter. And insulin is not your friend when it comes to trying to lose weight, because when your body stores of insulin are high, there's a lot of insulin in the bloodstream, it kind of metaphorically locks the doors to the fat cells and they can't release what's in them so that you can burn it and use it for energy. So the name of the game in weight loss, at least for the beginning, is to control your hormones, specifically the hormones that cause you to gain fat or to store body fat. And that is primarily insulin. So let's talk about what effect food groups have on insulin. Not just how many calories they have, but what do they do to insulin? Because that's what you really want to know. So I talked about it last week when we talked about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates have the most profound and most immediate impact on insulin. They raise it. Some raise it more than others. Anything with sugar is going to raise it more than Brussels sprouts. They're both carbs, but carbohydrates have the most direct impact on both blood sugar and insulin. The second most impactful thing is protein, but it's by a wide margin number 2. The least impactful macronutrient, the one that has the least ability to move the needle on insulin, is fat. Now let that sink in for a minute and think for a minute about the advice we have been gotten for the last 40 years when it comes to losing weight. Go on a low-fat diet. Now think about what sense that makes. If you understand that fat has no effect on the very hormone that tells you to store fat, why would we make our diet lowest in the very thing that doesn't budge the needle on fat storage and make it highest in carbohydrates, which does move the needle dramatically? It's sheer and utter madness. Now, let me be fair. There have been people who have successfully lost weight on low-fat diets. There are not as many of them as you think, and it ain't as easy as it sounds, but it can be done, and I would be lying if I said nobody in the entire world has ever lost weight on a low-fat diet. But for the most part, if you ask modern functional medicine experts, people who operate in the 21st century who actually read the research, they would all probably tell you that the low-fat diet was a big bust. It just didn't produce the results we thought it would, and it certainly didn't, generally speaking, produce any weight loss in any long-term sense. The reason that fat is your friend in a weight loss program is, number one, because it does not promote any elevation of the fat storage hormone insulin. And number 2, because by eating more fat, you will train your body to run on fat. See, your body runs on the fuel it's used to getting. You keep eating sugar and power bars every 2 hours, and you follow this 1980s advice about like gotta graze all the time, gotta eat every 2 hours. Well, your body's just waiting for the sugar hit. No wonder you get hungry 2 hours after breakfast and you're gonna kill somebody if you don't get a bagel. It's because you're running on blood sugar, and there's only so much sugar your body can hold. You want your body to be running on fat because there's 87 gazillion calories of fat that your body can hold. We all know that, we just look and see. But you can only hold about 1,800 calories of glucose or sugar. So the name of the game here is to train your body to burn fat as a source of energy. It's the best source of energy on the planet. And you do that actually by making a shift and kind of increasing the fat in your diet while decreasing the amount of carbohydrates. So fat is not your enemy when it comes to weight gain and weight loss. You don't get fat from eating fat. That is an old wives' tale. It's very old. It isn't true. It's been demonstrated a million times. So if you learn nothing else from today, learn that it's not all about calories, it's about hormones, and it's particularly about the fat storage hormone insulin, and fat has the least effect on that of any of the food groups, protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Now, I did mention that I'd mention something about the health problems or benefits and stuff with fat. So let me just say this. I don't want to relitigate the whole fat issue right now, but let me just leave you with this. There has been massive amount of research in the last decade that has shown clearly that fat does not cause heart disease, that saturated fat does not cause heart disease. So this is not what you should be afraid of. And you should also know that saturated fat, fat in general, is really a general shorthand for lots of different fatty acids, and they have different effects on the body. So let's get rid of this concept that saturated fat is always bad, animal fats make you, give you heart disease and diabetes, and the more fat that you eat, the fatter that you get, because that is not so. And if you learn nothing else from this day, please take that home because it's a very, very important lesson. This is Jonny Bowden. We'll continue the series next time with a chapter on protein. And I will see you next time. By the way, I've taken all these videos, put them into a course. It's absolutely free. Go to my website, get on the newsletter list, and you will hear about how to get this course free once it's completed, and I'll send it to you. Again, this is Jonny Bowden. If you like all this, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep your questions coming because I really feed off them, and that is what kind of keeps me going and makes me excited to do these videos because I know I'm talking to you. This is Jonny. See you next time.